Hey y'all, it's Delaney.
And it's Katie, and this is Classically Black Podcast,
where we talk all things classical music and being black in the profession.
with trap beats playing in the background. Y'all, Delaney had a breakdown because I said I had...
We're not bringing this on the air.
I just want to know.
Are you editing this? Dang it. So if I'm editing this, I'm going to edit it out.
For real? I want people to let me know, like, do you put...
Are you really going to... You're going to say this and we're going to lose half of our listeners? Well, 90% of our listeners.
People do it.
I sure hope. And if you do it, please stop listening to our podcast. Because we don't want...
Shut up.
People are like, what is it?
Exactly. And why is Delaney being dramatic? Mayonnaise on your hot dog. It's so good.
Everything, not even everything that I've eaten today, but everything that I've ever eaten is creeping up my esophagus. Yes.
That's not how digestion works.
It's how it's working now.
All of a sudden.
Yep.
Since the beginning of the time.
Mm-hmm.
You put mayonnaise on a bun and you put relish.
Oh, no. Sorry. I'd like relish.
And ketchup and mustard. And I had no jalapenos, so I couldn't put that on there. I have somebody. I ain't had time to find them, but they're somewhere in the fridge. And then you were coming soon, so. It's so, let me know, y'all. I'm not crazy.
Okay, so the reason why this took me out, I literally left her house. And
I was so annoyed because, like, whatever, like, I had to turn, I'm not going to say my business, but whatever. You closed both doors and walked You're so annoying.
Because I don't like mayonnaise or hot dogs. So that combination just sent me over the edge.
I put mayonnaise on all stuff like that, on burgers.
I mean, I know people do that.
Yeah.
I don't do that. But just the thought of, because both of those foods alone make me gag.
I don't love hot dogs, but for whatever reason,
so nasty.
I was sitting in class not thinking about what I was supposed to be thinking about, and I was like, hot dogs sound like it will go low key. And then I went to Aldi and they had the vegan ones on sale for $1.49.
Mayonnaise and hot dog.
I mean, in my defense, am I really eating a hot dog?
You gonna throw a Tootsie Roll on there too?
You don't like Tootsie Rolls?
I don't hate them. I wouldn't eat one. But they're not disgusting.
They're weird because are they chocolate? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I would never first of all, I would definitely never buy one. I wouldn't eat one.
Yeah, I've never bought a Tootsie Roll. They've always appeared.
Yeah. Even if I was trick-or-treating, I still wouldn't eat one. I don't think they're disgusting, but why? You know?
Yeah.
But what's something else nasty?
I like most things. Well, I'm vegan now, so. I feel like you gotta be like open as a vegan. I don't know. Are there picky vegans? You can't eat like 2/3 of things that are produced. Well, that's probably a little bit more than that. Maybe half. You can't eat half of things.
Mm-hmm.
Hot dogs fine. Hot dogs have a place. And you put a little man.
I mean, I can see people being like, "What, Delaney, you don't like hot dogs?" And it's like, that's fine. I think
hot dogs are reasonable because, especially like their past, like what they used to be, which is anything: rat, toenail, thumb,
rat, toenail, thumb. Wow.
I read them Great Depression books.
Beak.
They used to, right. Hair. When they had them kids working, kids do whatever. It had kids working the machines. And
so now what else? Boogers?
Yeah.
Dandruff.
Right. Kids be itching everywhere. They nose always running. Yeah. Kids are... I love little kids, but some of them, they just be... And they be... they can't do this a podcast. You can't see. Yeah. But they be wiping they nose.
Sneezing into their open hands.
What? Or open air.
Yes. There was one boy... I remember I was a counselor at a camp. And I had to tell this little boy, I was like, he's just sneezed. We were playing like a board game with the kids, and he just sneezed into open air. I was like, are you kidding? I was like, you must cover your mouth. You have to. It's a requirement. Like,
kids are hilarious.
That doesn't even feel right. Sneeze into open air, and then just let it settle into the earth where other people live besides you.
And then you breathe in the head. Have you breathed in the sneeze?
Or people just cough in just out. That doesn't make any sense.
Man, I know you don't like kids, but kids are hilarious. They are.
Sometimes
because I like them because they're rude. Like she got a wig on. Like, who asked you? Kids are hilarious.
The thing that gets me about kids that I'm just like, ugh.
No.
Is that not but I'm just like, I watch it and I'm like, how are you? Is that some of them are just so uncoordinated, and it's just like how are you functioning in everyday life? Like when I watch a certain kid who pissed me off today, when I watch that kid handle bass, it's just like always tripping around and just in the bass. I'm just like everything. I can't even look at him handle a bass. That's why I don't bring my bass when I teach, is because kids are so uncoordinated and they will.
First of all, I watch the way they treat their own stuff. I be having to tell them, like, my viol, I unpack my viol on the table behind me so I can just grab it when I teach. I had to teach a violin. I lost it. I didn't lose it, but I moved so many times. It's somewhere. It's probably in Evanston because it's nowhere here. I don't like teaching with my viola. Yeah. So the kids because I lean on the table and me and my kids are the same height, so they lean on the table next to me like because you don't care about your stuff. I watched Shorty. She dropped this. Okay, for once, thank God. It wasn't her. It was still her fault. But it wasn't like she just flung it across the room like the rest of them be doing. So she, how like you pack your case, and that's why you should not do it on your lap. But you unpack your case, and then the case just opened, and the violin bridge came off and broke. And sis ain't saying nothing to me. She put it right back in the case. I said, "Okay, girl, go ahead." I have a problem. People know this. I have a problem with kids who don't work hard, or at all. I was gonna say, honestly, at this point, I would just be happy if you just worked. That's just a little. The same girl.
It's so easy to tell.
The same girl went up to a volunteer and was like, "I don't feel like doing anything." I'm like, sis, same. What? People know I don't like doing things, but I'm here with y'all. After y'all been at school all day, so now I gotta deal with you. They fried your brain. Now here you go. What's the news? It's 8 minutes. It's actually 9 minutes in. People tired of us.
What do I have?
Okay, year 2 of Classical Black. People have to skip 30 minutes ahead.
Okay, so this is some of these are from the episode that what is it? What's called an episode Atlantis.
I don't even know if I want to do. I feel like that's just. Are we ever gonna re-record that?
Maybe down the line. But some of these articles are from episode Atlantis.
Yes. That's what, shout out to the people who know what episode Atlantis is.
So I meant to even put this on an episode before that, but so on March 20th, the Sphinx organization, they honored 3 outstanding Black and Latinx artists with the Sphinx Medals of Excellence. And the Sphinx Medals of Excellence is a program that awards $50,000 career grants to emerging classical artists of color who are early in their professional career, demonstrate artistic excellence, outstanding work ethic, a spirit of determination, and ongoing commitment to leadership. So they gave 3 musicians, Will Liverman, Raquel Gonzalez, and Joseph Conyers. Come on, fan of the show.
Hey, Joe. Joseph, because you've made it. So
I mean,
here I am running behind.
All right. But yeah, congrats. Everyone, what legends. Y'all deserve. So, and then this next article. So it's going to be dummy weird to redo this.
I'm just going to let you read this. First of all, I'm dummy slow. After you went through all this stuff about Atlantis, you started talking about Sphinx. I'm like, didn't we know this already? I'm so slow. It's also late though. So it's not late. I'm just old. In my body.
Damn, you slow and old.
Slow and old. Girl, y'all pray for me.
Oh. So, as y'all know, Chicago Symphony Orchestra is at this time still on strike. Today as we're recording it is the last day of they keep announcing canceled through this date, canceled through that date. So,
is it through this date?
Yeah, this is the day. So I guess
Twitter?
Tomorrow we'll be hearing when the next date is. That's what we'll be canceling.
Let me go on my person's page. See if she posted anything. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, as of today, they're still on strike. We'll see what goes on tomorrow. But so this person, a writer for the Chicago Tribune, he released this article called "Please Don't Tell Me CSO Musicians Have It Easy." And so, like, of course, we talked a little bit about this, and some of the things that he was saying in the article was that, like, people who think, why are they striking over the salary? They make so much money, blah, blah, blah. Don't really understand, like, everything that it takes to get there, which, like, I mean, if you're in the CSO, like, of course, like, nobody who knows, like, who's in the classical music field is gonna be like, man, y'all barely even did nothing, you know,
right,
to get in the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. I can't see,
especially since they don't hire nobody.
I can't see other people, like, I do know that people that are outside of our field do feel that way, or like think that it's just like, oh, it's just your passion, you doing what you love, blah blah blah. Like,
yeah, one of my sorority sisters was like, RPO gets paid, just because it's like outside of their scope of consciousness, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
and it's like, I know people see, and people see, like, I feel like they know that, like, you have to, like, work to do an instrument, like, to play an instrument well, but, like, they don't even, like, know the end. Like,
that's
just
why, like, when people outside of classical music comment on my life, I'm be like, why don't you stay in your lane and let me do what me and my teacher talked about? Because you don't just go down to the Metropolitan Opera and be like, what y'all hiring? You know what I'm saying? Like, ugh.
And that whole thing that we were talking about with people commented on, like, getting paid from freelancing and stuff like that, and be like, well, you shouldn't have been counting on that money. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, well, my friend was like, you shouldn't have been counting. Are you joking?
That doesn't make any sense.
You go to work and then on Friday they're like, we don't really have your checks today, but just check back with us. Are you
like, they told me they were gonna pay this? Why wouldn't I count on it?
That's not a contract.
That doesn't make any sense.
Oh my god,
but
y'all are exhausting for no reason.
But there was, I don't know, like, so, like, I get that, and I know, like, we talked about that, like, I get that, but one of the things that he said, and not even just one of the things that he said, but the way in which the article was written was, like, low-key condescending to people, and it's just, like, you can't talk at people in a condescending way and then expect them to be like, okay, yeah, I agree with your point now. You know, like, I'm a very firm believer in, like, how you say something is just as important as, or if not more important than what you say. Like, you must deliver your ideas well, or else, like, no one's gonna, like, if your goal is to bring people onto your side of things, some people's goal is just to argue,
or maybe his goal was to be like, y'all can shut up because
right, I don't want to hear it.
Right. And I could get people, like, you see that money, I could see, like, looking from the outside, because I'm still trying to figure out, like, I'm not even trying to be ignorant, I'm still trying to figure out why people get paid millions of dollars to run a ball across the field. You don't even have to play, and you could still make $250,000. You could keep the bench from flying up and get $250,000. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like, I feel like if you're not in that field, you just don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Because athletes work as hard as us. Yeah. Probably the same amount. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just different, and I feel like people see it differently because it's different, like, because it don't seem like such physically taxing work. I'm like,
are you joking?
People get in, like,
I played through my sonata today. I was exhausted.
I'm telling you, by the time we get to the last page of Eyeglasses, my back is like, sis.
Like, and it's even like whatever poor technique or whatever, like we're recording this before my recital because my recital is coming up, so there's no time to record it this weekend, but it's like, I'm not worried about Sunday. I'm just like, and also, like, I haven't worked out in like a literal month, because literally working out will help me with the stress. But like, the idea of taking an hour and a half to go to work out and come, I just don't have that, even in my mental space. I'm sure I can find an hour and a half to go do it, but it's just like, and you know me, I'm not lazy, you know, I used to work like six days a week, you know what I'm saying? It's not the laziness, it's just like the whatever. But I really wish I had been working out, because I played through my box week last week, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna make it. And I've never played a recital this long. You know, it's like an hour of music. My neck's sweating, and I feel like I ran a 5K. Oh, girl, we
what's after?
If I faint, they'll just pass me, right?
Sure.
Can you imagine if they were like, the student of falsus?
Not just, I mean, yeah.
I'll be like, y'all could keep the degree, actually. Keep the performance one. Give me the A one.
Oh, that's true.
Are you joking? Pay them more money to do it? Girl, child, bye. If I can't do it over the summer, just have a redo. I ain't doing it.
But you could just do it like as soon as, Because, like, the first date for recitals is, like, in August. It's like the first. You could just do, like, the first day and then get your diploma.
I'm not entertaining this conversation.
I mean,
I don't plan on dropping dead. Well,
you have to drop dead.
That would be so embarrassing. I'll be looking up from heaven like, really, sis?
Looking up from heaven? What do you think heaven is?
I really should not have said it like that. I gotta talk to God a little bit more often.
But
looking
anyway.
up from heaven. Oh my God! Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King.
Which one?
Hallelujah.
The way you talking? Which one?
The way I'm talking.
But I just wanted to touch on one of the main things in this article that made me be like, dude.
You should have just left it. You should have. One day it's gonna slip. Depending on who edited it and how morale going, it's gonna stay.
And the reason why I extracted this excerpt is because it applies to something like much bigger than this and just like in everyday life. But anyway,
connection queen.
All right.
Okay,
he said
thousands.
For what? For copying and pasting this?
No, I'm making connections.
All right.
Okay, literary goddess.
Okay.
Okay, phonics queen.
Phonics has nothing to do with this.
You have to read it.
So you're proud of me for being able to read at 20?
Yeah.
And I'm in college?
Well, yeah.
No, I thought that was an expectation, but then again, some of y'all.
This says from Full House is by her daughter way in USC. She don't look like she can read. She do. She looks like she read well. She don't read her
I
fingers.
mean, some of y'all. I was just about to say some of y'all 45 still reading with y'all finger.
Some of y'all need that paper. You know that paper from grammar school that has like the little dot in the middle? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
It's like big old paper and it got like the top line and the bottom line is a little dot in the middle so you can practice your uppercase and lowercase letters. Wow. You remember that paper from like first grade? Yeah.
Wow.
Like that.
So this is a quote, and he says, ever since the CSO musicians went on strike on March 10th, some people have been complaining to me about the pampered and, quote, privileged CSO. Whether you side with the musicians or management, can we agree on at least one thing? These musicians, quote, privileges are hard won every day, week, month, and year of their professional lives. Now, here's what I'm saying. I'm not by any means saying that the musicians of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra didn't work hard to get there, because the Chicago Symphony Orchestra.
Exactly.
However, to say that privileges are hard won, just because you work hard doesn't mean that you're not privileged.
Right.
I don't think, like, I know that he might not be thinking that deep into it.
They just throw words around.
But that's the thing. That's the same thing that happened with like the Strad. Like, y'all don't think into things. You just print things and are like, yeah, sure, okay. I had an issue with that, because you making it seem like they was trekking 5 million miles to orchestra with they bass on their head.
A bass they made out of aluminum.
Yeah, like just the bass line of privilege that you have to be on the pipeline to being a musician to Chicago Symphony Orchestra is ridiculous. Not ridiculous, but it's massive.
Girl, I'm at Eastman. I'm still not on the pipeline.
So
there's that.
They were like, they sacrificed playing on the playground with kids of their age, and while other kids were doing this, they were doing that.
That's a privilege for them to be doing this when they weren't doing
exactly.
that.
Like,
that's supposed to drinking from the water hoses.
Like, you're acting as if, like, I get whatever, you sacrifice these hours to do that, but how are you able to do that?
Exactly, the ability to sacrifice those hours, like I said in Atlantis, dude from San Francisco, he was like, his parents knew that if he wanted to do anything with cello, he'd start at 5. And here I go thinking I'm gonna be right up there,
right,
without any struggle.
I'm knee deep in middle school talking about maybe I could
play CSO. And I could. I might could, but it's not. Also, Mr. Taylor.
You can, yeah.
Anyway, Mr. Taylor stressed me out because he's like, "How old are you?" And I told him my particular age. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's good." Because by 30, I'm like, "All right, you just could stop right there."
I'm terrified.
I mean, but it's true. That he said like, you don't decide at 50 you want to be a musician. I mean, you don't decide at 50 you want to be a professional classical musician. The way the chops are set up, and then your skills start to deteriorate. I'll be pissed. 60 now. Now I get my own tremolo without trying.
All right.
Sorry. What's the point?
Wow. Your own tremolo. Okay.
Built in. Like pre-programmed.
Low key though, there's that movie, A Late Quartet, and it's about a string quartet. You've seen it?
No, but you told me about it.
I literally almost started crying within the first 15 minutes because the cellist in the quartet was like way older than them, and he was developing Parkinson's, and like it was like a scene where they were in rehearsal, and like he kept having to stop and be like, I'm sorry, like I don't know what's going on, like just seeing his skills deteriorate. Like I literally started sweating. I was like, oh my goodness, like I couldn't. I mean, like at least he was at the end of his career. He was probably like in his 70s. But like, could you imagine something happen? Like I can just imagine something happening like that. What would I do?
I told you I'm clumsy, right? So that one day when I fell and messed my leg up, I'm mad because now my favorite pair of jeans got a rip in it. I tried to put them on today and I got this big old red gash on my leg. I fell and I was like, because I fall like all the time, and I was like.
Right, me off the fingerboard when I'm shifting.
I don't know. That just started when I got to Eastman. Like my finger be falling off. When I make a mistake, sometimes I just look at Miss Taylor like, "Girl, I don't know either." But and I'm thinking like the way I felt, like my hands hurt, and I was like, "Am I good?" You know what I'm saying? Like we depend so much on our bodies and stuff, and it's like there's gonna come a time where you won't be able to do what you were doing before. But sometimes that comes too early. Like look at Jacqueline Dupre. Like you know what I'm saying? Multiple sclerosis.
Dude, yes, people even here. Somebody I know here, literally. Oh my goodness, like cannot play. Career's done. Almost done with his degree, and like now like can't play.
I can imagine how your teacher feels. Like, how do you deal with something like that?
Like a complete and total career change, and he was one of those people like, bass was his life. Like like just, and you could tell like just being around and like. Knowing him that it was like really taking a toll on him.
Of course.
Like, and because it's like, but I'm just saying like one of those people that was like really upset, like, I
mean, I love viola. I ain't obsessed with viola.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why it went on so long is because it was
like this can't be it.
Yeah,
no way.
And also like, but I have to practice 6 hours a day even though I'm hurting. Like,
Okay, see that now, like, come on. Because I feel like, I mean, I don't know the length of his. The length of how long he was going through and like the depth to which it has to be serious if he can't play no more. But I watched a couple friends go through performance.
Can't play forever. Took I think almost like at least maybe half a year off and tried to go back and thought like he was like, oh, it's going better, whatever. I'm in treatment, whatever, and even that.
But I wonder if he didn't push through it and just was like, yo, what's going on? What was that?
Girl, let's just keep going. If we die, we die. For real, like honestly, I would rather be taken by surprise. I would just let's just. Okay. I'd be like, what I don't acknowledge can't hurt me.
I was gonna say something that was gonna piss you off.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what I was gonna say.
Let's go.
But I was saying like they realize something is off and they try to push through and they're like, wait, hold on. And then they look into it and then you ease yourself back in like, I'm gonna practice like 10 I'm gonna practice until it starts hurting and I'm gonna stop. And then I'm gonna try to get 30 minutes of practice. And like it takes time because you're losing time as you're oh, it's the freaking chord. Okay. You're losing time as you're recording. Go ahead, what's this about? You're losing time as you're trying to heal, but it's like,
rather lose this time now than lose forever.
Exactly. And I ain't gonna be like, what if you did? I'm just wondering, like, because if you still like your whole hand falling off and you still trying to push through.
And I think also like part of it is like just the whole thing about being in music school and like the obligations, like what you have to do in order to take time off, like it's just a lot. Like, you have to take time off from school, and you have to, like, I just feel like life keeps going, and that's the something with like
life keeps going.
Yeah, with like my shoulder and stuff. Like, I'm like, I still have orchestra 3 days a week, and I still have a lesson, and I still have a jury, that kind of stuff. So you try to be like, okay, I'm gonna practice less, but I still have all these commitments. So it's like you have to separate practicing from playing, because you gotta play at stuff regardless. And then it's like, okay, now I gotta cut back on my practicing, but I can't play at this if I can't practice,
right.
that sort of thing. So I feel like the whole, like, you have to put in a thing like, I'm taking time off from school. So I feel like, stuff like that, since that's such a, like, a big decision to make and like a big thing, he's probably just like, well, I still got stuff to do, and try to push through when it's like, it's hard to know, is this serious enough that I really have to graduate late and do that kind of stuff, and thinking you can just heal and keep doing what you're doing and heal on the side. But like, how do we even get into this?
I don't even know where
I think we were talking about musicians being like athletes, and then
but you were gonna make a point.
I mean, the point
we pulled over.
Yeah, I mean, the point that I was making was basically that you can't say that just because people work hard don't mean like they've never had privilege. Like, we were talking about how, like, all those sacrifices that you made, even though they were sacrifices, a certain amount of privilege was, like, you were in the place of a certain amount of privilege to even be put in a position to make those. I
mean, he's writing from a place of privilege himself, so he can't even empathize with that. Well, I don't know if he can't empathize, I don't know him, but he can't sympathize with that. And it's because you're the editor or writer for the Chicago Tribune. That ain't no rinky-dink job. So there you go. And he won an Emmy.
No.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, so yeah, if you still have questions or anything about the strike, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, the actual, like, association, which is separate from the musicians who have their own website, their own Facebook page.
Shout out to Costa.
But the Chicago Symphony Orchestra Association, they have a frequently asked questions page, just in case you want, like if you want to know more about it and you want, like, straight answers minus our commentary, even though it's hilarious, and why would you want to subtract that from your experience?
You could just read the article,
right? But I'm gonna link that, and then I literally said this in episode Atlantis too, but I don't know if the Chicago Symphony Orchestra musicians have their own, but if they do, I will look, and if they do, I will also link that one. Yeah, and then last but not least, I just saw this, like, before I came over here, like, literally minutes before I came over here to record. Jonathan Rush, him and a couple of his friends, or colleagues, are starting the International Florence Prize Festival.
Well, y'all better than.
I mean,
have they been in contact? I'm gonna ask him, because a whole bunch of Florence Price music is in Arkansas that don't nobody want to let go, just like Lillian Fuchs. So it's gonna be hard to have a festival if you don't have access to her music. So hopefully they've been in contact with her, or who, I think it's her daughter that runs it, but I ain't gonna talk about my neck. So the International Florence Prize Festival, or Price Fest, is gonna be the price is right.
I mean, it is. It's gonna be an annual festival dedicated to the music of Florence Price.
This water bottle back ain't over. Even no water in there.
The inaugural festival will take place in Washington, D.C. on from August 20th to the 23rd in 2020.
Okay. All
right, so they planning ahead.
I'm gonna talk to him. Sign me up, coach.
Right, and I sent it to Vina, because Vina got a bunch of her.
We got an audition. We got an audition.
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna link their website. It's pricefest.org.
Come on, org. Okay, then.
They do have.
Jonathan started this.
Him and a couple other people. I perused it. Of course, I literally just saw this and added it to the episode. He just announced it, like, today. But I perused it, and there is, like, a thing where you can email them, and it's like a checklist of, like, why you're emailing, and one of them is like, I would like to perform at the festival, or I would like to give a talk, or something like that. You love a good talk.
Yeah, you know.
Presenter extraordinaire.
What's the
meanwhile you over here talking about literary goddess and phonetic queen, like, you can't say nothing to
phonics queen.
Okay, phonics queen.
Phonetics is different, so I take phonics back, but everything else still stands.
All right. So it's going to be a festival that's featuring the musical output of Florence Price, as well as scholarly, educational, and advocacy-oriented events. So we lit August 2020. Let's go. Hop off your plane from Gateways to
over
Price
the road
Fest. I mean,
ain't but 5 hours.
We getting a party bus. Imagine.
Put a pole in the middle.
Hey. Pole. Put y'all instruments underneath. We partying. We just started. Never mind.
You should do what?
Nothing.
No, I want to know.
No,
this episode's already 30 minutes, so never mind. You can tell me after.
Right. All right. Let's go to intermission.
Okay, so as you can tell from the title of this episode, you okay?
Yep.
Well, we doing Blast from the Past High School, just like we promised you that we would do. We didn't promise you. We promised ourselves. We didn't promise anybody. We just said we would. So here we go. Got there. So I thought it'd be nice, to ask you if you had any advice for your high school self. Now, I remember when we decided to do Blast from the Past High School, you were like, it's kind of weird because it just happened.
Yeah. I graduated high school in 2016.
I graduated in 2011. So...
Not even 3 years ago, because I graduated in June. So it hasn't even been 3 years since I graduated high school.
Wow. But a lot of life has happened in between that. You know, so we can go back and forth. Do you have any advice for your high school self? Give me one.
This was difficult. Because
it was difficult.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I like to reflect and stuff. So I'd be like, what do I wish I knew?
And also because I feel like high school is so much better. I was doing better in high school than I am now.
As a bass player? Or like in general?
In general.
Simpler times, no bills, nothing to worry about.
I mean, yeah. And just like honestly, I feel like a semester is a long time, but like if I could go back and do like a month of high school, I would.
I would never. I would never ever do high school again.
Really? I would. I definitely would. It was so, like, it was just, but I mean,
ugh, yeah.
I would say eat less Popeyes.
Yucky.
For sure. Because there's a Popeyes on the way to my music lessons from school. And every now and then I might go stop by. And then, but,
I might could stop by.
I mean, but then my could was, I'm definitely stopping by. And then it started just happening too often. And then my gut started protruding. But I would say, I feel like the obvious advice that like the first thing that came to my head was like, first of all, practice more. Because I'm like, gotta be honest, I didn't practice in high school. And I feel like, I guess maybe to refine that actually, because these two kind of go hand in hand. I was gonna do them separately, but whatever. It's just I wish that I had developed more discipline in high school. I had discipline because I had to, because my schedule was so tight. But now my schedule is still tight. Like, you've seen my schedule, but like the like organization of like things, like I have a lot more things to juggle, so I have to be like on point with that kind of stuff. And I like organizing, but like I'm just not quick to get it, like lay it all out and do it. You know, like I have a schedule, but when it comes to like doing assignments on a schedule and practicing on a schedule, I go on and off with like I have a pretty solid practice schedule, just because like those are the hours that I'm free. That's just how it goes. But like developing more discipline when I don't have anything to do, because I feel like it's either I'm doing a lot or I have nothing to do, so I'm like, oh, I got time, and then I keep saying, yeah, I got time, and now it's the next day and I'm like, oh dang, where all that time go?
Where all that time go? You're annoying. So
I feel like developing discipline, even because like back then it's like I go to school from these hours, I have orchestra from these hours, like it was just way more set. But that's something I wish I had done then, because now it's hard because life comes at you fast and it's gonna keep going. I don't got time to pull over and let me get my life together, and now I could go back to school.
I'll tell you, when Austin told me, like, because I told him like I'm just tired, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not trying to complain, but I don't know what it's been, but it's like no matter what amount of sleep I get, I'm not rested. There's been days where I would get like I would do like 8 hours, and I would wake up exhausted. And it's not even like, or I would do, you know, like my normal amount of sleep where I'm like, yeah, I feel good. It's like 6 hours. And like, there's not one morning in the past academic year, where I've gotten up and didn't feel like going right back to bed. I'll be like, I cannot wait to go to bed tonight. And it's like, Austin's like, yeah, that's just adult. I'm like, really? Like, this idea of like never feeling rested. And he's like, I haven't felt rested. He's like, and you know, Austin has like dummy kids, so it's like, he's like, even on vacation, it's like vacation isn't vacation with kids. It's just like, I'm tired of feeling like this. But I think going off of you, I just wish, I would say to my high school stuff that you're capable of a lot more. I was incredibly lazy in high school. I don't think people, like, I would do whatever, like, my teacher would give me an etude and a solo piece to work on. Like, I wish I had a better teacher. I'm just gonna be frank. Whatever. I haven't spoken to her since high school, so it don't even matter. But I wish I had a better teacher. If I had a Mr. Taylor, if I had a Dr. Lewis, like any other teacher that I had, any teacher I had after I had my high school teacher would have put me in a way different place. If I had them in high school, and that would have prompted me to work harder as a violist. But I just had to work on my little etude, so that took like, you know, 10-15 minutes. I would learn half of it, then learn half the next day, like stuff like dumb junk like that, and it's play through my stuff and be done. I just wish, but like when it came to academics and stuff, I literally did not. That's when I started finessing. I started finessing in high school. The work got harder. I would work. Like I didn't know how to read at the level that they was asked, because I was in honors, everything. So they reading at a higher level, and I'm just like, I don't get this junk. So I just started getting B's. I'm like, that's cool. That's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? There were certain classes I would settle in. Like I'm not expecting to get an A in English. I'm not expecting to get an A in history, because I ain't gonna read the stuff. You know, I'm gonna finesse my way through it, and I'm a skim, and that's it. So I just wish, like, I'm capable of a lot more. I didn't realize how hard I could work and how much I could push myself until it was time to go to Eastman. Or that's not even true. I think I worked hard in undergrad to a certain extent, but like I started knowing what time it was before Eastman, and it's like, man, I'm picking up on so much time. You know, I wish I worked hard in undergrad too. Like, it's a lot. But anyway, next one. You have another one?
I would say another one would be more. I literally still I struggle with consistency to this day. Like, I feel like it's worse now, actually.
Really?
But consistency and accountability, because I remember a lot of times, like, I got very comfortable with my teacher. I had the same teacher from my first note I ever played on the bass up until coming to Eastman. And a lot of times, like, I was a good student, because like I just, you know, like,
you just do what you gotta do. That's why these kids baffle me. It's like, it's not even about like I liked the viola back then. Oh, I did, but it's just like, I gotta learn this thing, so I'm gonna learn it. Like, it was just like that simple to me.
But like, there were some things where like I just, like, where he would be like, okay, well, he would like let things slide, you know, and be like, okay, you know, but I know you're gonna get it, like, you're gonna be fine. And it's like, I just wish, like, of course, eventually I got it, because I'm not, like, I used to be kind of a quick learner. Now, just because concepts are so much more nuanced at the level that we're at, it's not so easy to do that. But I just wish I had been more like accountable with a teacher that trusted me so much, you know, rather than, because he could have been rude and been like, you blah, blah, blah. Like, I could tell like, teachers can tell. It's easy to tell when you're just finessing your way through something,
right?
And it's like, yeah, it's good enough, but it's like, it could have been better. So I feel like accountability, and then like consistency, and that, like, even at the times that I wish I could have kept doing that, because it's like, that's one of the, like, the things. It's like, you think about all the times where you like half-assed something, and like, it's just like, dang, where would I be had I full-assed it, you know?
All right.
But yeah, that's something else I would say.
One for me is we skipped that one for now, but girl, do what's best for you. And it's harder to say that to someone who's like, I was 17, like, I'm gonna do what my mama tell me, you know what I'm saying? But I think even when I was leaving high school, I'm like, yeah, I might do music education, but I'm also gonna be a dentist. I actually really wanted to be a dentist. I think that's something that people might not understand. Like, I wasn't doing it for the money. I know, like, when I meet people, the first thing I look at is your teeth. That's just something I do. And I was like, if I could help you're annoying. So like if I could help people like teeth always like fascinated me, you know, like when I was at the orthodontist, you know what I'm saying?
I'll go see a little chest underneath your bed.
Can you imagine from you teeth? you gonna let it go just for that. Just for that, you gonna let it go. Yup. There you go.
But we're not gonna forget what you said for the mics came on.
Okay. Anyway.
Exactly. We all have our moments.
So, teeth have always interested me. So I was like, yeah, I could do that. Like, that'll be fun. You know what I'm saying? I'll study music ed and then I'll just go to dental school. So, but also like, even like this might be like a more of a college advice thing, but even like you just got to do what's best for you. And like, once you just know that, like, it don't matter what kind of, who says what to you. Like, at the end of the day, you gonna do what's right for you and you're not gonna let nobody play you. And then going hand in hand with that, like this idea of protecting your energy, this is something I've been coming into so much more. I don't want the wrong type of people around me. If you're not talking right, like this idea of like preserving your energy, what kind of stuff you letting around you, what kind of people you letting into your, like what kind of people you letting around you and what they gotta say and what they thinking about you. Like if I feel energy finicky, like I get distant, I'll cut you off. Like girl, I'll cut people off. You can ask a bunch of my high school friends.
Ain't nothing to cut that off.
Literally, that's
snip.
That's my next one. Cut people off.
That's what I said.
You said that too. Let's talk about it. I said
that in the that panel that we was on, because this one dude asked, like it was this panel about like inclusion of like, you know, women and non-binary people in music, and I was talking on the panel. One of the guys asked like what was something that like they could do like when they see something, and I'm like. And like that's easy for me because I'm like rude, so I'm just say whatever. Like I'm not just gonna let you say something crazy right in front of me and let it slide. No, but I get that some people are more, you know, mild mannered than that. They don't want to challenge their friends or whatever. But I was like, the way I think about it, like first of all, if you see something, say something, obviously. But if it's someone that you're cool with, it's your friend or whatever. If it's somebody that has a problem with you calling them out because they're saying something problematic, you don't want to be friends with them anyway. Cut them off.
I'm telling
you, were like, and I was like, no, cut them off.
Here's the thing I realized about high school, right? And once you realize it after you leave, it makes things so much easier. It's hard to cut people off in high school because you spend 7 hours a day with them. You might not be in the same class with them, but you're gonna see them around. Little kids are petty. It causes rifts and stuff.
Yeah, I love you had a stalker in high school.
Like,
I did.
Like a dude.
Yes, it was very strange. He carried around a knife.
Okay, so
yeah, no, like it was an issue. Like,
I'm telling you, like it's harder when you go to school with people every day.
I like it. We just away people.
I need the full story after the mic off. So I'm just we gonna table that. But once you realize like this person is toxic, I'm gonna cut you off. You just cut them off, and they might be confused by the two of my closest friends in high school. After we went to college, I just stopped. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I didn't ghost them because I think that's petty or whatever. But it's just like I felt us drifting apart and I let it happen.
Yeah.
I just stopped calling. I stopped texting. I stopped giving birthday wishes. We were like best friends, the three of us, like best friends. They were doing too much. It was too much going on. I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want this relationship. So I just cut them off. And I wish I knew that like you ain't gotta hold on to people so long. You know, that's one like I just wish I knew about that. Protect your energy. Cut people off. Just do it. You ain't gotta, because now you that's family members included. That junk about like they family, so I don't there's a person that I'm not gonna say that, I'll tell you after. But there's somebody not coming to my recital and that was a choice.
Family, it gotta be bad, and I feel like I've never had anybody like that.
It's not bad, but I care about my energy, and I can tell you why after the mics come off, because someone connected to them listens to the show. But I care about my energy. I care about how it's gonna feel on Sunday,
especially your recital.
Girl,
that makes sense.
I don't care. I'm about to be 26. I'm like, I don't care about your feelings. I care about getting out of debt, graduating Eastman, and getting my life on some type of track. Any old track.
Any track?
But you know what track I am right now? You know how like in cartoons?
No.
You don't?
I've never seen a cartoon ever. Nope.
Okay, so cartoons are like pictures that move.
And I'm mad you broke it down.
And there's a train, like, you know how a train track, like, it will look like there's a tunnel painted on it. It's a tunnel, but it looks like it's painted on. My train is going like 200 miles per hour towards that wall, and we like this close. Yo, that's it. That right though.
Good thing you met me, because I'm the one that brings the lever and puts it onto the track to greatness.
You have another one?
Wow.
Do I have any more? I grouped like 20 of them together.
I have I feel weird like saying ones that like I still struggle with, because it's like, why are you giving advice you don't even take, you know?
We all work in progress. It's not easy to cut people off. Like I said, I'm 26, and yes, I still. Also,
I have gotten better at this, exactly. So it's not the same.
It's all about growth.
But all right, here you go. Growth and reflection. I was just saying. And then here Katie go putting her, let me pull my therapist couch out for you and let's.
You gonna say what it is? Mm-mm. You not?
Nope.
The people want to know. Nope. The people want this episode to be over.
I feel like one day people are gonna be like, why? I listen like 45 minutes in and then wish for it to be over, and then I'm like, I don't have to listen to this show.
What did Richard say? He was like, I listened to the opening, all of a sudden y'all was saying bye. And I was like, yeah, man, keep that energy. Yeah, for. Oh, I forgot I used to say that. That's a Chicago thing. Phone them.
Oh.
I'll phone them. You be like, what up, fool? Nikki was so mad. I remembered that. What up, fool? Yeah, I'm going to start saying. But I'm in New York. People going to be looking like I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm going to start saying that to me. What up, fool? Yeah, I'm going to start saying that. Yup. In Eastman. In Lori's.
I feel like. Okay, so this is something I've gotten better with. I would say ask for help. I do not.
That's a good one.
Like asking. Well, there are certain things like the thing with all skills. On the first day of class, I was like, all right, so can you sign me up for tutoring? Because I know me, and I know I don't get this, you know, and I know my mom is telling me 8 semesters and that's it, you know. So you know, that sort of thing. But there are certain aspects of life that I have a really, really hard time asking for help on, and depending on who I need to ask for help and like the magnitude of that help, if it's just like, you help me out with this little like depending on who it is, you know, whatever. But there are certain aspects to life that like there are things that are hard to talk about that you don't want to ask for help for. And I feel like there was a lot of like I always wait till it gets really, really bad, you know, to be like, to come hand in hand, be like, can you so I'm in a, you know, it was a 2 feet hole and now it's like 200 some odd feet, but can you just reach down and pull me out, you know, like, and just it's so much worse that way. I still do that for certain things, but I think I have gotten a little bit better, but like, because my mom in high school, like, well, even like just in general, like one thing she will always say is like, if you can't say something to my face, write me a letter, you know. And like, so the things that are like really hard like to talk about and stuff, like at one point I was like, sis, I'm going through it, like, so I wrote my mom a letter and slipped it at her door, like, I don't know what we doing, but you know, but like that was even that was really, really hard, because I knew at some point I was have to go, I live with her, it's my mom, you know, right. At some point I'm gonna have to face it. But like, I just feel like that's still something that I'm going through. I've definitely gotten better at it, but I don't think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, is asking for help, because you don't want to burden people, even though, you know, like, you know, people care about me. Like, I know my mom loves me, but still, like, she ain't signed up for all of it, you know. Yeah. It's just, and you know, friends and stuff. I still have tons of issues about trusting friends, but you know why? Because I've been burned. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've noticed. Well, I think you have noticed. Anytime there's an idea for classically black, I was like, well, we could ask this person. And I had to. There was a point in my life I wouldn't ask anybody for anything, and I realized it was a problem. So I've had to make myself ask for help. It's something that I practice doing. Like, and it's like, yeah, I try to figure stuff out on my own, but it's like, why? Like stuff when I like be like, we asked something for Richard. We asked him for something that was like dummy simple. Like, if we thought about it long enough, we could have figured it out. But I'm like, why? He knows how to do it, and he's gonna be willing to help us if he has time. So it's like, why not just ask him? Or it's like, that's something that like I had to like, I know you'd be like, girl, we don't have to ask everybody. Or like, even like I have an idea, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call Kermaine and bounce it off of him. You know, and it's just like, why do I feel, because I had to make myself. I don't want to ask nobody for nothing. For what? So you could, and for me it was a pride thing. So you could say you helped me. You know, that's what I didn't like, and that's an issue. So for me, I was like, I'm gonna make myself ask people for help. You know, and it started as simple stuff like, you hear me play this box suite, sis? Like,
sure can. Let's ask the whole audience for help. Want me to pass your viola?
Actually, can you imagine if I just started? I would edit it out.
All right.
But yeah, I don't actually have another one. I had one about don't let people put you in a box, but that I really came into that. I'm still coming into that. So.
I have one about, this is something that, like, I've already done this, but like, I was kind of mean in high school. Like, I've never been like a mean person, like, to my core, but like, we went through this in the I probably mentioned it in the Blast from the Past middle school edition. It's like, I was like bullied in middle school, and at a certain point, I was like, I got to the other side of that and was like, well, bump y'all, ain't nobody about to say nothing to me. And like, but then it like went a little bit too far to the other side where like it was like, come on, sis. Like, like I was like, I'm surprised ain't nobody socked me across my face. Some of the stuff I was just saying to people, like, over to like the smallest stuff. It wasn't okay. I'm making it seem like it was a little bit worse than it was, but I was like piping up. I dialed it back a little bit, but one thing that I learned throughout high school, and now I may be a little bit like, to some people, too sensitive to this stuff, but I do think about like how the things I do affect other people, and that like I'm very conscious of like even the smallest things. I'm always conscious, am I blocking anybody, am I doing this, like I'm always conscious of like, this person could be having the worst day ever, and how am I treating them, and how am I treating the person that's checking me out at this grocery store, and how am I doing
come on, body.
I'm talking about the person behind the counter.
Okay, sis.
I'm talking about the person bagging my groceries.
Okay, he could be checking you too.
It's literally not what I meant by what I said.
Go ahead. I want to hear the rest.
But I'm talking. All right. Well, I'm talking about like how I bounced back from that and have like, you know, had that middle ground, because now I'm very much like, I'm a little bit like, I am a little bit on the sensitive side when it comes to stuff like that, because I'm also very much a what if person. So like even the smallest things, I'm like, I'm like, well, that person could be having the worst day ever, and the smallest thing, because you know, like everybody knows what that feels like. It'd be the littlest thing that puts you over the edge, you know. And I think about that kind of stuff all the time. So I feel like that's something that I would encourage my high school self to think about, because I remember being in a place where my mom made me notice this, why I used to talk about people a lot, and it was me and my ex-best friend who were like together would do stuff like that, and then I got to a space where I started hearing it more and being like, that's a dummy rule, why am I, you know, like, why talk about other people? And now I don't really do that anymore, like unless you did something and you just need to be put in your place, and that's something totally different, right? But like, just now like, you know how I am with people talking about other people, especially in classical music, when you say such and such about somebody's playing, why are you doing that? How would you feel if someone, like, that's just something that I've been on the journey with from high school, just from being put in a place where I felt like I needed to defend myself all the time, and then backtracking from that, and like now I'm where I am now, where it's like, I pipe a fight if I need to, but you gotta take me there, right? Like,
feeling froggy, didn't jump, and that's period.
Wow. If y'all could see the shape her lips just made, it was like Texas. It wasn't the shape of Texas. Your lips in.
If you have any advice for your high school self, Texas? Let us know. Tejas? Email them to classicalpodcast@gmail.com.
Your lips was on like
and
Texas.
We are moving.
Your lips was on like Texas.
You hear what I said? We moving on. We're
Your lips on like Texas. You know what made me do that? I came across, every time I see in my camera roll, I'll see like the picture of a GarageBand screen, and that's when we're editing the episode, and we'll send each other a video of something ridiculous that we forgot we said. And there was one where you were doing that to me.
Oh yeah, but it was like it was too long.
It was like every time I tried to move on, you were like, I know. Oh yeah, no, you were like, was it something I said? And every time I was talking, you were like, was it something I said? Delaney, something I said?
I do that in real life, but you do it to me, so
I mean that's true. There's a lot of ridiculous things that we do, like at the beginning and ending of every rehearsal, at the beginning or ending of every rehearsal,
or middle.
If y'all could see, y'all would think that everything we play is just in pristine order. By the way, we are just messing around. Like,
cause I think in total it's at least 15 minutes of us singing Eyeglasses. Not even at half tempo.
And beatboxing and twerking and boom. Wait, what did I do? Oh, you were like, you set the tempo, and I was like, boom, boom, I'll tell you, there's been times where it's gone longer than that.
Oh, at least to the
oh yeah, when we go ba-da-dum. The first time we decided to do that echo, it's never been the same since. Because now every time we do it, we look at each other and be like, da-da-da, da-da-da. It's sort of just like a simple musical idea that we have taken and made so extra.
And been a mockery of it. The first time you did it, you made your face go back. You were like, and I was like, I see it the same.
Did it. I'm going to do that on your recital.
You are? Mm-hmm. You are? Mm-hmm. Okay, so
that's like Beethoven probably looking down at us and be like, I'm glad I can't hear.
Wow. That was trash. You trash for that. You are.
I am?
Mm-hmm. Hot trash.
Something I said?
Basura caliente.
Something I said?
Yes, it was something you said. It's what you said. Okay, we're at an hour. We haven't even done. We're only halfway through the episodes. I mean, we'll take out 20 minutes of us singing Eyeglasses, but
why? Sing it again at the end.
If I had time, I'd put up 2 versions. We should do that, like cut and uncut. Oh, but we say like some stuff and
yeah. There's still like reasons why we cut some stuff out.
What did I say? Another one? Oh, it got deleted anyway. In Atlantis. Oh no, it wasn't.
No, that was the last one.
The one I said with Dustin?
Yeah, okay. That was the last one. I cut that out though.
Where are the questions? I feel like we're getting more and more lax. The first episode we were like, now we're just like, so what are we doing?
Especially now we don't know how to act because we just did an off the cuff episode. Now it's about to get real bad.
Oh, yeah.
Because now we got a little taste of that.
Sorry, y'all. Okay, so now we're gonna do the vegan meat.
Nah, what was you gonna say? The meat of the episode.
I was gonna say the jackfruit of the episode, but I feel like people wouldn't have gotten that.
The tofu of the episode.
Yeah.
Or the mayonnaise hot dog of the episode.
So good. Yuck. Okay, so I think we might have touched on a lot of these questions just in us talking about whatever, but let's get to it. Let's do what we do. Oh, let's do it.
I don't know what that is.
You know that? You don't know that thing? Oh, let's do it. Okay. So, y'all, got some questions for you. Tell me what your friends were like and your favorite things to do besides music. So, Just give me an overview of your high school experience.
Okay, so I went to 2 different high schools. I went to one high school for my freshman, sophomore year, and another one for my junior and senior year. So they were both art schools, but one of them, the second one was like, okay, so the first one you didn't have to audition, and it didn't, and it was a newer school, and so it wasn't like, it was supposed to like, I guess, be more accessible, but like for someone that's on track to like go into the arts, I don't really think it was the way to go, which is why I ended up going to the other one, which is like you have to audition, it's more rigorous and like all that. Because the first school I went to, like the curriculum wasn't as comprehensive for the arts, because like I had to learn how to play 2 other instruments just to fill up my class schedule. So like I was in band in high school, and like I played the flute and the bassoon in high school, but like the second school that I went to, I was able to like fill up all my arts curriculum was filled up just by playing my primary instrument. I had string orchestra, I had symphony orchestra, I had chamber music, and I had music theory. And then like you could have like other electives, like things that you wanted to do, as long as they like pertain to what you were doing. Like if I wanted to take film composition, I could have done that, which but so the first high school that I went to, I went into high school with a couple people I knew from middle school, my best friend at the time, and like one of the girl from our middle school, and like another one, and then some people that I knew from elementary school were there, so like we were lit. It was whatever. I didn't like that school for other reasons, because the people there were irritating, and we had a teacher who was just rude, and like he's actually the reason why my friend like didn't go into music.
Wow.
Like he was a bully. He was a teacher, and we actually ended up reporting him because it got bad, like where he was making sexist remarks and like all that. And he's one of those teachers that's like, some people really like him or some people don't. And it's like, but the people that really like him, y'all the ones that's eating lunch with him in his office, and like and they were like, and actually that like blew up, like that became a whole thing, because like nobody in the music department would talk to me on like all that, and I'm like, and that was past my like being, oh my god, like, so that was when I was like piping up Delaney, so I was like, I don't care, y'all talking to me. And even now, because it's just like I said factual things about him, so what y'all gonna do? So that was like, I didn't have an entirely good experience there, but I did have a couple of really good friends there. And then so at the middle of my high school experience, I transferred, and a lot of people felt some type of way because the school I transferred to was like the art school, and then the one I transferred from was like the wannabe art school. And so the school that I transferred to was lit. Like I liked my high school experience there. It was a little, because it was kind of a small school, and it was on a college campus, but since it was kind of a small school, it was hard to come in the middle, because some of those people knew each other already. But I did know one person when I went there from Yola. She also went there, so I knew her and her twin sister. So at that point, I met everyone through them. And one of my best friends from that school, actually, I remember meeting her. And when I first, I guess I like, it says like, what were your friends like? So like, I'll do that friend group and not the one from the first school. But so I had my 2 friends that were twins, Jemiah and Milani, and Jemiah played viola and Milani played flute. And so like they were cool, and then I met my friend Kayla, and Kayla's a singer, and I literally hated her when I first met her. Like and it was like to the point, like I don't think I've ever met someone who I immediately disliked that much. Wow. Like it was to the point where like I was like, I might have to fight her. Wow. Like physically fight her. Like I did not like her at all. She was rude. She was very rude. Wow. But she was, I think she kind of got, we had like a sort of a situation where she was just like, oh, I can't play like that with Delaney, and but ever since like then, for some reason we like clicked and was like real good friends. And then like, so it was all of them, and then like our friend David was our Black Excellence couple, so like, y'all know about him. And then my friend Free, she texted me today talking about, oh my god, I live for y'all podcast.
Aw, hey Free.
She's like, I can't listen to it in public because people think, I can't tell you exactly what she said because it's wildly inappropriate, but I'll tell you later. But yeah, like her, and then my friend Chloe, who's like a really good friend of mine, And then our friend Maria, who started hanging out with us in senior year, because all of her friends, her entire friend group was a year older than her, and they all graduated. And like me and her had been in a chamber group together, so I was like, oh, we should invite her like over here to hang with us. And like ever since then, she became like a permanent, member. So like those were like my core friend group. And everyone in my friend group was black except for Chloe and Maria. Chloe's Filipino, but yeah. So I feel really, really bad. I was thinking in the whole music realm with like everybody's music but Roman. The reason why I didn't include Roman is because I've known Roman since preschool.
Oh shoot!
And we lost contact. We were like really close, like in preschool through like a little bit of elementary school, but like really early, like maybe like 3rd grade or something, like through that time. And then we went to different schools, and I had lost contact with him for years. Oh shoot! And then I saw him on the bus. And then like we like, and now we're like good friends again. Like his grandma remembered me and like everything. Like but yeah, that was like one of my other like main friends in high school. And then what our favorite things to do, basically everything that we did, like we went to high school like right in the middle of downtown LA. So usually, and we all took the bus, like public transportation. So usually we'd be like, what we doing after school, and I had music right after school, so I couldn't go home until like after that. So I had like hours to kill, because it just didn't make sense to go home because it took me 2.5 hours to get to school. Like I live far, so like we would just go. We had like our main places. There's like a shopping center in downtown. We would go there. We would hang out by like USC, Popeyes, Grand Park, which is right next to Coburn. Yeah, you've been there. Sometimes we frolic around Coburn, wreaking havoc. That's pretty much it.
All right. So when I went to high school, I was not excited to go to high school at all. I thought like, oh, this is gonna be terrible. It was fine. I think I said before, I loved middle school. Wasn't different about high school. Like it was fine. There was nothing. It was nothing to write home about. For me, I just went because it was obligatory. All my friends from middle school carried over to high school. I was friends with all Jamaicans, except for this girl named Khalid, who we failed out. Okay, it's late. Who we fell out.
With?
What?
You fell out with her?
I fell out with her. Like I think my freshman year. But yeah, all my friends were Jamaican. I met my other friends, Sabrina, Naomi. I met them my freshman year as well, and then that just became a huge thing. Like we were thick as thieves. Like we would do everything. You will always see it. And then what happened is like my friend group collided with like the Jamaicans and then the Americans combined, so we were just like this big old massive group of like 10 people. And we just rolled deep. Like we just like, whose house we going to? Like we just did dumb stuff like that. We went to the movies every Friday. There was a point my grandma was like, so y'all gotta go every Friday.
I never went out in high school.
Yeah,
unless I was already out.
Especially when Shane got the little rinky-dink car. Like first of all, Shane taught everybody to drive because I shouldn't even put his bit. It's whatever. It's over now. So Shane was the first one to get a permit, and he had this little like 1998 Toyota Camry. You wouldn't even guess that he would have something like that because it's like the car he drives now is like a Lincoln, but he had this little like whatever you think a Toyota Camry is, it's not that, because remember it's like the 1998 version, so it's like it looked. I'll show you a picture. I think it was a Toyota Camry. Like it just looked. Oh, seatbelts weren't working right, but he had a permit. You remember the rules of the road. You're not supposed to drive. Let me see what it looked like. Yup. Maybe older than that. You see that red joint? Mm-hmm. That's what it was.
This one?
Yeah, but black.
Oh, awesome.
What is that?
Toyota Camry.
But what year?
1998.
Yeah, that's what he had, but black. And he had a permit, but you're not allowed to drive on a permit. I don't know. God's grace kept us because honestly, we didn't deserve to be kept. Because we be frolicking around. Like if you get pulled over, like we're getting in trouble because you just have the person who has a license supposed to be sitting with the person who has a permit. Right. But we was free. And he taught everybody to drive that little car. Like we would do all type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like everything we did together. So I was on the track team. My teacher really let me throw shot put in high school. What? we were on a track team. We were in a dance company. Like, we did everything. We would be after school in the hallways. We'd be in the library. So the library closed at 6. Like, we would just be rolling. We had somebody's house doing game nights. Like, just like we'd be at Evanston's on the water. So we would go to the beach. Like, we would be walking around downtown Evanston. Like, which ain't but like 10 by 20 blocks. Like, it's not a big downtown, but we would be walking around down there. We would take the train downtown Chicago. Like, we was just out here. Like, and my grandma be like, because I come from Jamaica, but my mom was like way more like relaxed. So my grandma be like, you just let Katie just run free, and she not for asking nothing. She just go on about our business. And my mom was like, yeah, like I wouldn't do nothing. My mom always said she trusts me unless I gave her a reason not to trust me.
My mom. Like, the only reason why is because like I literally didn't have time to go home, so it's just kind of like my mom expected me to go straight to wherever. She also expected me to eat something after school, so like it was just kind of like we would do whatever was on our way there. Like, we would be on the bus and let's just get off at this stop, do something, get back on and go, I mean, because I was not allowed to go anywhere and do anything.
Very little of my high school experience involved viola. I was in orchestra during the school day. I took private lessons at school. Like, my orchestra teacher's wife taught me, so she would teach at school. And that was it. I didn't do youth orchestra because youth orchestra met on Sundays, and my mom was not going to leave church early or not go to church at all to take me to youth orchestra. That was just the reality of what it is. So, and I don't fault her for that. It's just like, we don't miss church. That's not what we do. Yeah. So we never went, like, we weren't at each other's houses because, like, y'all live close. I mean, it's Evanston, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can drive from one side of Evanston to the other side in like 15-20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it's a suburb. And it's a small suburb, population like 100,000.
Oh,
I mean, but remember, it's like a suburb, so it's on top of other suburbs. You got Skokie right there. Like, Evanston's surrounded on all sides, well, except for the water.
Look, because like we never went to each other's houses because we all lived so far away from each other. Like, me, Kayla, and Roman lived fairly close. Like, I could it would be a bit of a long walk, but I could kind of walk to Roman's house from where I live. Kayla lived like, well, you've been to my grandma's house. She literally lived like down the street from there. But then you've been to my house now, where Chloe lives somewhere around there, maybe a little bit further. Dang. Like, yeah, and then Free lives in the valley, which is way past that. Like, it's like how you get from where my grandma is to our house, and then like that same amount again. Wow. And then maybe like a little bit further. Yeah, she lives in Chatsworth. And then David also lived in the valley, and then Maria lived in Compton. So I'm like, whose house we meeting at? Nobody. Like, every time, even when we hung out, we would meet in downtown because that's just like the middle part for everyone. It's 30 minutes away from where everybody lives.
Dang, no, I mean, like, we don't have, because I guess if we lived in Chicago, that might be, but even in Chicago, it's like, well, I don't know. But we were always doing something extra. We'd be like on Friday, like, so what movie we renting? That's when Redbox was a thing. I don't know if Redbox is still a thing. Get a Redbox. Then we go to this place called Chicken Shack, where you get like, we was out here just being free, being like, that's what I did like about high school. My mom kind of let up a little bit, and I was just out here, just doing whatever. I will say that none of the friends I have from high school I still have, except for Nikki and Erica. I cut people off.
What about you, Shane?
And you, Shane. Oh my God. Thank God he doesn't listen to this. I will get a phone call.
I feel like...
Yeah. All the Jamaicans. No, that's not true. I cut Kyle off. Shouldn't have said her name.
I feel like most of the people... I never... Like, all the people that I'm friends with besides my ex-best friend... we're not friends in the same capacity, but that's just how I am. Like, if you're not right in front of my face, then I'm probably not gonna talk to you very much. Because like, I'm just like, yeah, we friends, but like, I don't need to be on the phone with you all the time. But and also, I'm a terrible friend. I feel like I never see my friends when I go home unless they're like, I'll pick you up.
If I'm gonna go to Evanston and not see Nikki, would be a problem. That's just how I roll, That's how I am with my friends. I'm always on the phone with my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not so much Erica. And me and Erica talked about this because me and Erica are both bad with communication. And the fact that, like, a lot of the times, I would think the majority of the times if I'm on the phone with somebody, they call me. And that's not even me, like, waiting for you to call me. It's just that, like, I get so into what I'm doing that, like, girl, my mom was like, you alive? You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom knows she has to call me. Yeah. And I used to get mad at her calling me. Like, I would be like, can you give me a chance to call you back? and then I realized, like, she knows she got to keep calling me. Because eventually I'm going to pick up. You know? But we should move on. I think I don't have, I can go first on this one because I don't have much. Musical experience in high school. I was in symphony orchestra. Actually, I was in a string orchestra. There's 2 orchestras at ETHS. ETHS, we will fight for you for the right. Just
literally 2 seconds ago, you were like, we should move on.
We'll go out
and then now you're singing a school jingle.
We'll bring you fame. Rah, 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 rah. Orange and blue, we will proudly wear. May our colors fly. Victory. That's what you say. Many trophies we will bring.
If y'all cut this off right now, I won't blame you.
Cheer, cheer, cheer. We will win the game for heaven sent high. Okay. You said jingle. It's a fight song. We went to a high school. You went to our high school. Y'all didn't have sports?
No.
Yeah.
We did have March Madness. Oh, that was my favorite. Oh, I got
How y'all have March Madness without a basketball team?
Class years. It was class years, and like, but it was cool because during halftime, all the class years had their own dance teams, and it was arts high school, so we had a dance department, and it was really, really cool. It was like a big deal. We used the university's gym, and there were class teams, and you wear your colors, and then there was a faculty and alumni team, so you get to be breaking your teachers' ankles. And there were some teachers, where I was like, oh, I hope they tripping.
Wow.
It was fun. March Madness was so fun.
But we okay, so
my grandma's so rude. Sorry. My family group chat blown up, and why my auntie was like, Queen is gonna perform at her job, the company that she works for, they're having an event and Queen is gonna perform. My grandma was like, them old dudes. I was like,
oh my glory. Wow. So, music in high school, I was in the string orchestra, the bottom orchestra, like every other freshman. And then my orchestra teacher needed more viola. So he was like, I need you in the symphony orchestra. And I was like, y'all know how to play? I don't play like that. So it was like it was the first full week of school. I did a full week in string orchestra. The way orchestra is in my high school, I had to change my entire schedule. I already don't want to be here. I'm already a freshman. I barely got acclimated to what I did, and I had to change literally every single class in my schedule. Changed the second week of school, except for my first and last period class, and my homeroom, of course, and lunch. Everything else switched. I was in a different French class. I was in a different humanities, a harder one. I was in everything was different math, everything. And I'm like, dang, I just got acclimated, But orchestra was hard. I think it was hard all the way through my entire, because he kept pushing the envelope. We played Shostakovich 5. We played the Elgar. Do you know that piece? What's the one that goes bum beam ba 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 beep ba ba bum ba 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 beep. I have to find it. I'll find it. But it was just, the music was always hard. It was a symphony orchestra, you know what I'm saying? Mr. A, he believed in me a lot, but it was fine. He was very energetic. I'm not gonna say too much because I don't know, but let's just say that it's easier when the orchestra can play. To be in symphony orchestra, it was required that you took private lessons. So he was able to program this rep. He was able to do all this stuff, but he did a lot for me, and so I appreciate that. Private lesson teacher was his wife. I already talked about her. And no, I did not go to summer camps. My mom, the only reason why I took private lessons is because I wanted to go to Blue Lake. My mom said no. How about you?
So my musical experience in high school, like I said, I was in band. So my first, when I went to my first high school, they didn't have a full symphony orchestra. They only had string orchestra, and it was terrible. Wow. And it was not even string orchestra rep. It was just arrangements and stuff. Because these were people that
you not the audition.
Yeah, and people just can't play. Really just can't play. And So I did that, and then I played the flute in intermediate band my first year, which I just taught myself how to play the flute like over the summer. And then I played, so I had orchestra, then flute and intermediate band, and then I played the bassoon and beginning band. And then I skipped intermediate band for bassoon and just went straight from beginning to advanced band.
Okay, but musical genius.
Okay, but what does that really mean? You know, that means something different depending on where you are.
I mean, I want to gas you, but also it's bassoon. So
what?
Bassoon is an instrument where like you have to be smart to play it, and everyone needs a bassoon. So like, if you needed a bassoon in the advanced band,
no, there were 3 of us.
That a lot?
It's usually bassoon 1 and bassoon 2.
It's like as much as I want to gas you, like I'm not in disbelief that you said that, just because of the nature of bassoon.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not an accomplishment. I'm saying like if you were like for flute, I'd be like, there's already 20,000 of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. But also the school never had a shortage thing because everyone had to learn how to do something new. Like I literally was at a school playing 3 instruments. For what? I
feel like that's dumb. I get
it's ridiculous.
I get the concept of it, but instead of dividing your time among 3 instruments, you could just get really good at the bass.
Yeah, or like even if it was like 2, I had a secondary instrument.
Or choir.
But
choir makes more sense.
3? Yeah, some people did choir, but I could have taken choir. I chose to do another instrument because I hate singing. And I can't sing, so I wasn't gonna lie to myself.
Oral skills.
No, but like I don't have a good singing voice.
Neither do I.
So, but yeah, so that's what I was working with. I also took lessons for bassoon at Colburn because Colburn had a with a Colburn student, not like at Colburn.
Yeah.
Because like for students that needed for Andrew. And then I had a different teacher for like the second half or whatever, like because they, students need their requirements for that, so they took kids from our school. So I did that, and then when I went to the other school, like I said, I had symphony orchestra, and then I had string orchestra, which had 2 different teachers and they had their own rep. So that twice a week, orchestra twice a week, theory twice a week, and then chamber music once a week, and like and then like that with like sectionals and that kind of stuff. And like I said, I already told y'all about the orchestra teacher and what he said to me and that.
Somebody was ready to pull up and I supported you.
Yeah, but and then my private lesson teacher is the same teacher I had for the past middle school edition. I had the same teacher, and then I went to Interlochen in 2014 because my sister went to Interlochen for singing. My mom crowdfunded for that, like, but for me, pretty much the same thing. And she went, and especially because she wanted me to have the experience, and also because Danielle did it and like ended up not going, like not really being serious about music, but she's like, well, Delaney's actually serious about music. She should definitely, we should definitely do something to try to make it happen. So I went to Interlochen in 2014.
So how did your high school experience shape your outlook on music?
Well, I knew that I wanted to do music by the time I was in high school, and then like from now on, I'm probably just gonna talk about my second school because that's like the actual bulk of it. But it helped me a lot going to that school because it was a conservatory style education. Like I said, 7 people from my high school go to Eastman. Like
crazy.
So it's like it's meant for that. And it did help accelerate some of the stuff because like my music education before that is not like the same. I was behind. So if I hadn't went to that school, I feel like I would have definitely been more behind. So that helped a lot, having that like rigor of like, no, we playing concerts, we learning like hard repertoire. We did like having that whole thing where you have 2 different programs for string orchestra. You have to audition to play your chamber piece because not everybody gets to perform their chamber music piece. You have to audition for that. And having like all those different classes, so it definitely helped. It helped discipline in some ways. Like, of course, like, well, I guess if you're not a very disciplined person, you still have to work on it. I'm not a very disciplined person at all because I'm not competitive, and so I just be like, yeah, whatever. But so it helped me in that sense, and like it was kind of like like for that school, you would be put on arts probation before you got put on academic probation.
That's crazy.
Like if you wasn't getting your notes right in orchestra, they'd be like, you can't play in orchestra. Before they'd be like, in other places it's like you can't do your elective if you're not performing academically. It's like you can't. Yeah, because I remember, some people had to be, if you're not pulling your weight, because we had. I forgot to mention this in the musical experience part, because we had juries. But in addition to juries, we had playing tests that were like we never knew when they were gonna happen. Like he would just be like rehearsing normally, and then he'll like ask your section to play. He'd be like, "Okay, basses, can you play blah blah blah?" And then he'll just take a notepad out and be like, "All right, first bass."
That's what I used to do. But
it was everybody would like tense up. Like,
yeah, it was a punishment.
Yeah, and he only did it to strings.
I did it to my when I taught public school. I did it to my intermediate orchestra who tried me. So
like, and then
I did it to embarrass them. I don't care.
And then for string orchestra, we didn't have to do it by ourselves. You did it in a quintet.
That's very nice. One by one.
No, but like, because I feel like the string orchestra, the dynamic is different, so that's why they did it that way. But it was good for us because the basses, obviously, we always got to. It would just keep looping around because there's not that many of us. But they take your best score.
That's nice.
Yeah, for us, but not for anyone else. But it also sucked if like you got someone who was like, messing you up.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously teachers could hear that. But yeah, playing test was, especially when I remember sometimes we'd be like, we haven't had one in a while. Maybe we might could just not go. When we was playing Chai 6 and that bum 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 bum, but I was like, listen.
There's parts in Chai 6 that are just impossible. That part before K, I don't care what nobody says. The part before K with the violas, I'm like, nah. Man, I cape for you, Tchaikovsky, but you must relax. Okay, so my outlook on music, I decided I wanted to be a high school orchestra teacher, a middle school orchestra teacher before I got to high school, but I think it got a little bit more cloudy in high school because I was performing well academically in the sciences, because like English and whatever, I was like whatever, but I told you like chemistry is all cool because it's
alright. So
chemistry. We did this. On the first day of chemistry in sophomore year, we did an experiment called the Cat's Meow, where it's milk and dish detergent, and you put and there has to be something else because there's no way that could only be it. And then you put a drop of food coloring in the middle, and then I think someone with tension, girl, I don't know, but you put a toothpick in the middle, and the color disperses. Like I was like, oh, I'll get used to this.
So you mix it?
No, it's milk. Maybe it is just milk and dish detergent, but you put milk and dish detergent, and then you put food coloring in the middle, like it's in a dish, and you put food coloring in the middle of that mixture, and the surface tension of it, that it creates when you put a toothpick in the middle of the food coloring disperses, so it makes like a pattern in the
there are some parts that are cool. I just don't want to do them. I'll watch them.
Like, I don't know, chemistry was dummy cool. So I was like, well, I kind of want to do something with science. Like, I wanted to be OB-GYN for a while. And then I was like,
my sister wanted to do that.
I was like, that would be kind of cool. But then I was like, I think dentist would be better. So it definitely like helped me. You said what?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
I want to laugh.
Nope.
But I'm only because it's late is why I'm leaving it alone. But yeah, I think I definitely like came into playing the viola. It's hard for me to call myself a violist now. It's a little bit easier because like I like earned some parts of that, but it's like,
what parts? What, just the V through the I, or what?
I was thinking more like a viol. Like a viol.
Okay, so when I see your recital program, it better say Katie Brown viol.
Yep. Yep. Just what I need.
So when you get your degree, how many letters you gonna get?
Well, all of it, because it'll be done.
Okay.
But yeah.
VO. Wow.
But this is a fun question that I wanted to ask you. What is a piece that would you say define your high school experience? Like, what was that piece that just like you remember that junk like even now like that junk goes?
Dang. Goes. I wouldn't say this goes, but this is something that's memorable from high school. Doesn't necessarily have to be in a good way. But the Dittersdorf concerto was like the first like real concerto that I played. Like, of course, it's Capuzzi, but that's like the beginning concerto for. Even though Capuzzi's not necessarily easy, but it's like the first like a student concerto. Yeah. And I also never played Dragon 80 until I got to college. But I feel like that would be like, if you did them in chronological order, that's the one you do next. But whatever. But Dittersdorf, I remember hearing my friend who was 2 years older than me play Dittersdorf and be like, I can never do that. And then I started playing it, and I still couldn't. But I've never. The second that's the remember we were talking about about our college auditions, and I said I played the second movement of that concerto to get into Eastman because I knew if I played the first I would not have gotten into Eastman. Like, I still like one of these days I'm gonna go back to Dittersdorf and I'm gonna play the first movement well, but like that was something that was, I guess, a piece that was memorable from high school because it haunted me in my sleep.
In your sleep? In your sleep?
And in my awake. What about you?
I'm looking it up because I must say this piece.
Also, we had this piece called Rounds for String Orchestra by David Diamond. It was so complicated and a mess. It was like one of those pieces that just the techniques and the rhythms and like everything was just absolute chaos. It was just really, really hard. But y'all should listen to it. It's crazy.
You gonna tell me the name of that again?
Rounds for String Orchestra by David Diamond. But I did had a lot of snap hits in it.
That's how it is. Okay. So a piece that I will never forget. This was a piece that they were working on for a week when I got there, right? Not even. No, it was like the first day because you don't play in the first week of orchestra. It's called Introduction to Allegro by Elgar. It's for string quartet and string orchestra.
Oh, wow.
It's like it's dummy cool. Bum be da da dee da da dum. But and it's a whole type of and the bass is do you know that piece?
No, but that reminds me of something we played.
And I looked at that music. I'm like, I've never seen so many notes on the page. I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. I didn't know. I was so overwhelmed. I was like, what is? It's like I had to. That's why when kids come into my classroom, I feel bad because I've said this before, like in a classroom setting that, like in a seminar setting that, like I feel bad because I try to make my students interact with music the same way I do because I know that I have to work hard as a violist and I know what struggling feels like. I know what it feels like I went through that whole...
A violist or a viol?
A viol. I went through my whole first year. I mean, by my sophomore year, I was principal by default. But not
principal.
But like my freshman year, I struggled the entire year. We played Brahms 3 that year. We played that Introduction and Allegro. We played some weird piece by John Rutter. Like it was just like so much repertoire that was like way over my head. And I worked that Elgar over and over again. Like I have to know how to play this. Like how does it go? I don't get the rhythm. He ended up having to cut a huge chunk of the middle out because the orchestra just couldn't learn it. But it was like I was so confused, and it's like, but I went home and I worked on it, and y'all come here with this grade 2 piece and whatever. But yeah, man, that piece like will forever define. I mean, and we played cool stuff. We played, like I said, we played Shostakovich 5. We played the Nutcracker Suites, with full orchestra. We had a full orchestra. We did string orchestra for the first cycle, and we had 4 cycles because it was high school. We never had 73, So we did string orchestra for the first cycle, and then the remaining 3 would be symphony orchestra. So whatever, we played Sleigh Ride, like the Leroy Anderson version. You know what I'm saying? Like we played hard stuff. I mean, Sleigh Ride's not hard, but for a high school orchestra, you need a trumpet player that can play that slap. you know, you need people who could play that stuff. These are all state musicians, you know, going honor band, honor orchestra at the state level. You know, those are players that went to my school. So it was a really good experience. But man, that Elgar, if you don't know that piece, bum, be da da dee da da dum. Ba da da da, that rhythms like that. Nah, you know I mess with English composers, but he.
We played this one piece. It was the Passacaglia, but for string orchestra. It was really cool. Like the one, like the same melody from the Handel Halverson one.
Oh really?
Yeah, and it started off with a bass solo. Like the melody was a bass solo in the beginning, and then it went to like the variations of it. Cool. It was really really cool. Like, but. Damn, that was another something that we played, but I forgot it. So we're just going to keep pushing.
School of the Arts is playing that black violin version. Remember, I did a video and I put they're playing that because I was like they were playing Brandenburg 3 like da 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 da. I'm sitting in the back of the room this morning like it would be cool if they went to the little part and then they put a fermata and they were like ba da da ba da da ba da 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 ba da da ba da 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 ba da 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 ba 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 ba. And it sounds good too. And the bass players are smoking that part. Not with the right technique, but it's fine. We want to hear about your high school experience. Thank you for listening through this. We've been in here forever. Yeah, we're at hour 40. But let us know about your high school experience. We want to hear about it, and we are moving on.
Black excellence.
It's time for Black Excellence, where we hype you up, gas you up, and give you your props because there's room for everybody at the top. And this week we were talking about Titus Underwood. Let me tell you, I was minding my business. We had a break during class, and I just saw all this Black Excellence on my timeline. Titus Underwood just won the principal oboe job for the Nashville Symphony, but it don't stop there. He been acting principal since 2017, so he was like. I would have been like, so what time is it? Because y'all know, like, I carry this orchestra. I could be tenured by now. I carry this orchestra, so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait. But nah, he was been acting principal, so he just collected his things. And
just took what was his.
He just took his things at a higher pay grade. I'm here for it. He got his master's in music from Juilliard, BM from Cleveland. He's been a guest principal at Pittsburgh Symphony, Miami Symphony, and Florida Symphony. He played with the LA Phil, Puerto Rico Symphony, Atlanta Phil, San Diego. My edges, sorry. I just feel it's just they're not there no more. You remember they were swooped at the beginning of the episode,
right?
Dang, Titus, they ain't even right, man. I'm gonna send you the invoice for my edge control. I mean, because that's, you know what? That's when I'm going to start doing these Black Excellence. I'm going to send them invoices.
You know what? My sister told me there's this edge control that is black. So it's like if your edges are thin, then you could. Yeah, it makes it look like. That. Yeah, that's what we're going to need for these when we start reading for Black Excellence.
Yeah, because I'm tired of y'all. I'm going to send invoices.
And what you can do is, we really should send it out to the listeners as well. So if you listen to the episode, we'll link the addresses of the people so that you can also send them an invoice for your edges if you're at home listening. Yeah, you know, because we can't leave y'all hanging too. So
and that sucks. You're gonna take your first 10% of your check and buy edge control,
right? But you know, you chose to be sickening, so
chose to be out here slaying a girl. So
pay up.
Pastel. He was an Aspen Oboe Fellow. He played at Grand Tenton Music Festival, and this summer he'll be the principal oboe at the Bellingham Music Festival.
Well, go ahead then.
Go ahead, black man, do your thing. Slay the girl. You better get that A and make somebody say something to you about it. And I want a conductor to say something to you. Like, maybe you could do what? Why don't you review my resume? Talking about maybe if you just could nuance what? Did he know what time it is? Acting principal. Boy, if you don't collect your things, take what's yours.
Y'all acting like you acting like not every other symphony in my DMs asking me to come over. Y'all better put a ring on it.
Yeah, y'all better up the pay because there's no the DMs are lit. What Offset said? Someone DM him, he ain't interested. Was that Offset or Free or Lil Baby? I like Lil Baby. Lil Baby. Right. Shout out my label. That's me. I'm in it with TV. I'm with Fortray. Really. All my I'm gonna say.
What was that?
What she know about showing love? What she know about pulling up?
No, go back to that other line though. What was it? What was it?
You know what piece of the week?
That is it. If you could sing it.
What is it? What was I singing? What's the name
I
of the
was
song?
hoping you were going to ask me that.
What is it? What is the piece? You have to pee. What is it? Piece of the week?
I don't have to pee.
Why your leg shaking? Oh, there's a trifling trying to get out.
All right.
I really want to go to bed. What is the piece of the week?
Well, my piece.
This was not so I lasted. There's no way people are going to keep listening after this. There's no way.
Ooh, I'm so childish.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so my piece this
Indeed.
week. Where did you get that from?
It's a word. It's literally a word in the English language and other languages. What?
You know, you usually don't say that. I'm just wondering who you got it from.
I say indeed.
Since when?
Delaney, what is the piece? I'm gonna pick one for myself. What is the piece of the week?
You're the one that came in with the indeed.
What is the piece of the week? Father God.
The piece.
You are so childish.
All right, so the piece this week that I've been listening to out of the blue, one of them I consider doing, but I think it's already been my piece of the week in the past, so I can't do it again. But one of my piece this week is the Haydn Cello Concerto in C. So I used to listen to this concerto a lot, and then like it's been a really long time, and then Boubacar posted a video of himself playing it. I was like, oh, go ahead then. And then I forgot how lit that concerto is, and one of the only things that I will lend my ear to that came from Haydn's manuscript paper, because I don't really care for him, because why?
What about the Surprise Symphony? Teaches us dynamics.
Okay, but teaches us and entertains us are two different things.
I mean, I was like, my dude, you literally had to write fortes and to keep people away.
I was just about to say who, and it's like, okay, yeah, you did that, whatever, but who else had to write something that should tell you something?
Literally,
no one else had to do that.
The only you're the only person I know that had to write dynamics so you could keep your audience awake. And you should be like, well, maybe I could work on my. No, I'm gonna just get loud. You know what? That's some other type of logic. He gave us. Oh, that was Handel. I always get those two confused.
Yeah, but but you like his trumpet concerto?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's paper.
Well, that cello concerto. Let's see. Like, there's some parts that part, I'm not gonna say it, but I just wish I could like point out what part it was.
Also, his L'Orfeo. How do you say that? I don't know. That little opera he wrote.
I'm just saying
opera adjacent
of the works by Haydn that I have heard.
Haydn. See, everything I associate Haydn with, it wasn't Haydn.
See, too good to be true.
That was that M composer that wrote that.
Who?
Eurydice. It's gonna kill
Eurydice?
No,
it's not a composer. Oh,
Eurydice and that thing with that beautiful aria in it. Eurydice and Orpheus.
Yeah. Oh, you saying who wrote that?
Yeah, who wrote it? Someone with the M, right?
No. Orpheus and Eurydice.
Oh no, not that one. That's the one by Gluck.
Hey, Gluck.
I'll look it up. No, it's not Orpheus, but it's somebody else. I'll find it anyway. People are begging for this episode.
Yeah, but that's my piece of the week. Oh, it's an oldie but goodie, and one of the only ones that came from Haydn. So
okay,
it's not.
I'm trying to think about like what did Haydn write? The trumpet concerto and the cello concerto.
He wrote 2 cello concertos. He wrote one in C and one in D. He wrote a ton of symphonies.
Well, we're not talking about those.
Although there is one Haydn symphony that
maybe the Farewell Symphony. I didn't even read that.
There's one that I wrote. I mean, not that I wrote. That I played. The only Haydn symphony I think that I've ever played.
He wrote Creation, but ain't nobody asked for that. I mean, I'm being frank.
But also he was cranking out works.
His string quartets are good. The late ones. Oh, especially the late ones.
Oh yeah, he did write a lot of string quartets.
Oh,
But
I
you
didn't look
remember
nice.
the other
He looked like somebody's uncle.
the other when we were the other day when we were listening to the Florence Price string quartet, and I was like, y'all still playing Haydn string quartets over this? Yeah,
Yo,
okay.
that stuff that Ethan's quartet played was like amazing. Oh, he wrote a couple little ditties. Oh, harpsichord, y'all still playing that?
Yeah, I mean, like he was. I mean, I know he was cranking out works because that was his job. But like,
It was literally his job.
Yeah.
Oh, Symphony 94. Is that a surprise?
Maybe.
No. I feel yes, it is. I'm about to say there has to be one of these symphonies that I like.
He had a kid named Elwa.
Oh, so he ain't like nothing. Elwa?
I mean, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, he wrote a symphony of house song. Whoa. Oh, that's right. Oh, this piece low key go. Violin, oboe, bassoon, and cello.
He wrote some.
Yeah, I forgot about this B flat concertine. Yeah, I feel like people play Haydn way more than they need to.
Yeah, it's just like we get it.
Ain't finna. Because his contemporaries are like so much better. Why would you play Haydn when you play Bach? Are they contemporaries? Like, that's embarrassed myself. Literally 100 years later. Or Mozart. They were around the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mozart was also cranking out things that were good. So, and Mozart also got better. He also died young.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what it would have done.
Yeah. And like, yeah, Mozart does have some good stuff, but like,
yeah,
I mean, like, you already know how I feel about Mozart and his bass parts, or lack thereof. Or lack thereof. Now, that Abduction from the Seraglio Overture goes. That sounds like Mozart.
But literally all his stuff sounds the same.
Yeah.
Magic Flute. I see. I rushed that. I ain't even playing.
And then
ain't nobody asking for that. But it's not impossible to play. It's just annoying. I played that for Mr. Taylor. That was an old boy one. Oh boy, so when is this? Thank you for listening to Classic Black Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Classic Black Podcast. Don't forget to email us if you have piece of the week suggestions. You got Black Excellence. People been doing that. Do it. Let us know how you feel. Let us know how you handling our stuff. People be emailing us like, we like y'all stuff for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, let us know. Link us. Link with. You understand? At classicblackpodcast@gmail.com, and we will talk to you.
Why is Puccini trending? Sorry.
Puccini trending?
Mm-hmm.
He turned 100 this year? Okay, let me stop saying stuff out loud.
I mean, I did say teeth in this episode, so.
Email us at classicblackpodcast@gmail.com, and we will talk to you next week. Gang, gang.
Okay, on the other side of your recital next week.
Thank God.
You gonna hear this.
There's a viola for sale.
Okay.
I'm playing. I tell you what Jasmine said to me?
No.
I was like, I'm gonna get me some acrylics. And she was like, Katie, no, you're not. You're still a violist. I'm like, you can lower your voice. Like, all of that.
What's the name? One of the girls at the place that we work came in with some acrylics. I'm like,
since last week at School of the Arts came in with acrylics.
y'all do anything. Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.